At the north, in the red. That's right, I'm using cardinal directions today. We have...
Stage light.
And at the south, our Terran player down 0-2. Can he make a comeback? He is.
NaDa.
There he is. He does not want to be 3-0'd by Jalizerg, Tasteless.
Guy is a ripped nerd baller.
That's right.
Thank you, Intel and G-Skill, for your support here at the GSL.
Well, these are very far spots from each other, as far as you can possibly get on Metalopolis. Now, normally a Zerg player would be very happy with this, but Jalizerg, he's the type of person that if you're close spots, he's like, oh, okay, then I'll just play in this way instead of a macro game, you know, like attack you quite quickly. NaDa with the barracks on the ramp. Interesting.
He's going to do it again, it looks like. Did he actually position that properly to wall in with one depot? He did not. No. So he probably
looks like he might start a wall in that connects with the command center.
Now, yeah, I think you're actually exactly 100% correct. That looks like that would match up. No, Jalizerg going for a safer build. Extractor and pool. Lings with link speed first. You know what's funny is, when StarCraft 2 first came out, even though this build we're seeing is from StarCraft 1, you know, link speed,
yeah.
Then you take the drones off gas, we didn't see anybody doing it until Jalizerg started doing it. And what's funny is in StarCraft 1, he was one of the first guys that started doing it too.
He certainly has always loved 9 pool speeds in StarCraft 1, but of course in StarCraft 2 is a little bit later.
Well, of course, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, you start with more drones at the start, so I mean the timing of that pool and stuff comes out differently, but the same idea. Now, link speed's on the way. As you can see, he's taking the drones off gas. He wants to get more minerals more quickly so he can make a hatchery next.
And interestingly enough, he's actually making 6 Zerglings to start. With this build, almost always you see in ZBT 4 Zerglings being made. It's just kind of an interesting little change for Jalizerg there.
And I guess NaDa is pretty confident with this build. I mean, he's going to do it yet again.
Actually, he's making a command center, so it's going to be a 1 barracks expansion.
Oh, weird. Yeah, excuse me.
1 barracks into a 2nd barracks and double gas. So that's kind of interesting. Have to see what he wants to transition to with that. 3 barracks, in fact.
One thing about this map and these positions, they're very far away. Timing attacks are pretty tough to execute.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we see Terran not pushing until his 3rd base is up and running.
This certainly could turn into quite a long macro game.
This is a map also where occasionally Terran will take the gold as a 3rd base instead of the bottom right location, if you were NaDa, and make a planetary fortress, and that sort of forces Zerg to react, because Zerg, if Terran has taken the gold base, Zerg cannot really take the gold base as easily because siege tanks can hit their gold base, so it sort of puts Zerg in a bit of an awkward position.
Yeah, it's a hard spot to break, too. It's kind of like a little funnel of a ramp that you have to go up against planetary plus siege tanks plus whatever else they have up there.
We often see players counterattack into the 1st expansion. Whoa,
3
interesting.
barracks, 2 factory. I would not be surprised if NaDa opens with Blue Flame Hellions a bit. Jalizerg does love him some Zerglings, Tasteless.
Yep.
Jalizerg, no idea that 2 factories are being made.
Yeah, those are just far out enough that even if a link peaks, it's not going to be easy to spot that.
Yeah. Jalizerg, very fast 3rd base.
Still no gas again. Oh, now he's doing it. Getting layer pretty soon here. And you were right, Artosis. Hellions is the way to go. You see the tech lab on the way?
He's making 2 tech labs now. Oh, wait, no, one's on a barracks, never mind. LOL. Yeah, you know, Blue Flame Hellions against Jalizerg, not a bad choice.
No, not at all.
I do say so myself.
Not at all. Oh, never mind. Where's my suicide pill? Baneling Nest on the way.
Jalizerg does love to get those Banelings out pretty quickly. Of course, Banelings do well against Hellions if they can hit them. Banelings without speed, probably not going to catch Hellions very well. Now, NaDa may actually be going for just a little push timing with the Marines and Blue Flame Hellions. You know, the Marines deal a lot of damage, whereas the Blue Flame Hellions keep Speedlings from owning
You know,
them.
here's what's one good thing if you're Terran with doing a build like this on this map is that Metalopolis is actually very open, especially if Zerg's double expanding like this. You're not going to really be able to hold stuff with a Spine Crawler. You can just be like, well, I don't actually want to deal with the Spine Crawler, walk around it.
Yeah.
And that means that you're going to have a lot of roaches or something to take it on. And we don't see a roach war. It looks like Jalizer's trying to tech up, get a lot of Banelings here.
Yeah.
And this timing attack, actually, I think is going to be pretty effective.
It certainly could be. And I do like how those Marines are going to go up and clear out the Watchtower. He wants for Jalizerg to have no idea exactly what the numbers coming out of are. Jalizerg making a lot of Zerglings right now.
Now, here's the thing. This is going to... This should, if it's executed right, we don't know. Oh, he did spot the Hellions. I was going to say, if he gets there without him knowing, the element of surprise is going to be on his side. I don't think he could stop this. I think NaDa might actually just win this here.
Now, NaDa deciding it's time to punish Jalizerg for his Zergling heavy play. Blue Flame Hellions is going to be so hard for Jalizerg to actually break out of this.
NaDa has to be careful. He's actually multitasking back at home when this happens.
That's unbelievable multitask. Stim is almost done.
Uh-oh.
Banelings! Great micro by NaDa. Losing a few Marines in there, but suddenly Jalizerg just now starting Roachborn. A lot of Zerglings on the way.
Oh, he's going to go up the ramp. Nope, he's not going to go up the ramp. He's going to go up the ramp.
He's even tricking you out, Tasteless.
I know.
NaDa killing a ton of drones right now. 30 Zerglings on the way, though. Those Marines just took out at the expansion, by the way, a Queen, so that's a pretty good deal. Because that makes it that there's just one Queen and Zerglings have to deal with Blue Flame Aliens.
Oh, nice surround here. He'll get at least 2 or 3 of those. Actually, he's going to get the rest of them here. Oh. Oh. Oh.
All right, so let's July making 10 drones right now. And July actually re-droned so quickly because he had that third base up mining this whole time. It's pretty scary. July's are already at 47 drones against 44 SCVs, so even losing all those, a very strong drone count, considering at least.
Well, NaDa's got to be careful not to overextend himself here.
Yeah. NaDa is transitioning into siege tanks.
Looks like he's going to do another 2-base push. And you normally do a push like this in positions like this only if you think you've damaged him enough with the initial attack that no matter what the Zerg does, he shouldn't be able to stop you if you control your army right.
Yeah. Well, did he damage him enough to do that? I don't know, you know? It's
I don't know either.
Map. July Zerg did have that third base, so...
I think had the Hellions stayed alive a little bit longer in the main, there would have been, you know, one location with minerals that he's not mining from or getting gas.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's switching into Roach. And Roach Baneling is considerably better than Zergling Baneling if it's against Marine Tank.
Yeah, you know, the Roaches can tank a lot of damage. Also, the Roaches are going to help July Zerg to not die to any more Blue Flame Hellions. You know, some people are going to just make another batch and send them. Let's see if you were greedy and didn't make your Roaches. Baneling speed on the way, Roach speed almost done. The Spire halfway done.
July Zerg just a little bit more mineral intensive, not using that second extractor in his main.
Oh, NaDa, so smart, so handsome. Making that command center, realizing, you know, it's cross-map.
Yeah, he actually gave up on the 2-base timing push. He says, no.
2-base timing pushes Marine Tank at the super top pro level across a map like this, not so good. If they were close,
they're not as successful.
Yeah, you can do some pressures. Maybe
well, actually, he's actually going to do it.
Well, he is, but
maybe he missed a depot and needed to throw up.
NaDa's going to have to turn around because the Roaches are here.
He can actually go for the command center too. If he can get that command center, well, I was going to say before it finishes, and just delay it.
Roach is dealing significant damage.
NaDa's actually not
turning around.
No, not turning around. He's actually going towards the base.
Well, he had turned around for a second. Oh. Very indecisive play. Now he's deciding to just attack. Figures he can clean up at home with what he has left.
This is bad if the push doesn't work.
The thing is, these Roaches actually not being microed all that well. Killing a lot of SCVs, yes. The Marines behind him dealing all the damage in. The Banelings coming in.
Oh! Very nice.
Very sloppy here by both players, but that is exactly what we should be seeing. Microing on 2 fronts.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. The problem is the Baneling mount is very close to where these siege tanks are. He is getting, he's making mutalisks, but only 3 of them.
Only a few. Here comes some more Banelings.
He needs to get rid of the Marines. That's actually what's most important here.
Yeah, if he can kill off all these Marines, and it looks like he'll kill off enough.
I think he's actually killed off enough.
Yeah.
Oh, Jelizer.
But there are more units on the way, Tasteless. They have been stemmed.
Oh, that's enough Marines, it looks like. But Jelizer, the concept behind what he was doing was correct. He just needs more Banelings again. The Baneling mount's still there.
And these Marines, if they can take out all those Banelings, but the Zerglings buying time for the Banelings. The Marines having to micro back.
Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, NaDa is taking the gold base, knowing that right now Zerg has to focus on defense and not on offense. And
oh no!
Now the question is wait, he doesn't have the planetary force yet. No, planetary fortress, excuse me.
And also 9 mutas are making Tasteless, and I think those 9 mutas are going to be what Jelizer needs to put him over the top here.
Yeah.
Right now, 81 supply against 76.
Note that NaDa actually very not focused on turrets right now throughout most of the map. He does not have a sufficient amount anywhere.
3 hurt mutas flying in here, see what they can do. And it looks like they're going to get out of there, rejoin with their other mutalisk brethren.
Well, if he can get enough mutas, he could take out the gold base. It's going to depend. He actually probably has enough mutas now. There is a medevac on the map. Jelizer trying to squeeze out a few additional drones here. Uh-oh.
And that drop is ill-fated indeed.
Uh-oh.
It's going to go down. The mutas taking out the medevac.
Easily.
And NaDa.
That's a big blow because he could have used those Marines to defend against muta harass.
That's quite true. But, you know, NaDa is not out of this.
No, not at all.
93 supply against Jelizer's 109. So while he is behind, that gold base makes a huge difference. Dropping mules there is going to refill NaDa's bank account very, very quickly.
Now, remember, when Terran has a gold base, Zerg cannot get the gold base unless he has Broodlords.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a period of time where, even though they're even on bases, you know, if you have the gold and your opponent doesn't, it's a big difference. NaDa's solution to this is to, here, I think this is what he's going to do. I could be wrong. He's going to, as we see here, harass the main, but then he might counterattack with all Banelings to try to right-click on the planetary. We'll see, though. There's one siege tank, but that's not going to be enough if all the Marines have to turn around.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. Jelizer starting to take the map a little bit, and it looks, Stasis, like we have ourselves a macro game.
Yeah.
It's now 133 supply for Jelizer, 122 for NaDa. 55 drones against 58 SCVs. So, in fact, at this point, NaDa, I want to say, is ahead a little bit.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, he can take out these Marines and the medevacs.
And that's what he's going for.
Oh, my God, that is a serious blow to NaDa. Losing drop potential.
Yeah, you don't want to lose any medevacs right now.
Obviously, you don't want to lose anything ever, but medevacs specifically are what are going to allow NaDa to hold the gold base and still be aggressive. So losing those 2 medevacs is huge.
By the way, guys, I want to go ahead and say,
save that Overlord.
If you do have the browser or whatever you're watching this on in small screen mode, because you're typing on forums, typing into Twitter, hashtagging GSL, whatever, maximize it real quick and take a look at the minimap, because Jelizer's Overlord spread is so handsome. He sees almost the entire map right now.
Yeah, that's actually
exactly what's going on.
Quite impressive.
And in fact, picks off a couple medevacs there. Beautiful mutalisks harassment.
Now remember, this means that NaDa is going to be, he's going to have it pretty tough whenever he stims.
Yeah.
Every time he stims, it damn well had better been a good choice, because if Zerg decides to retreat and you know, all these Marines sit back on low HP, it's going to make that big push that's about to occur that much weaker.
153 supply for NaDa, 181 now for July.
Jelizer is moments away from maxing out. He wants to try to force a stim here.
And here we go. Has he decided to go? No, not yet.
Okay, that was exactly what I was talking about.
Now, here's something very interesting Jelizer's doing. He's keeping his drone count very low, just like he would in StarCraft 1 to have more supply. The mutas now flying in from the side. He's only at 53 drones. So he's going to have 1 max, and he's not going to be able to refill it. He's going to want to just crush NaDa in a decisive move. Here comes that decisive move. A ton of Banelings. The mutalisks coming from the sides.
The Banelings, it's tough to call. Yeah, no, it's not tough to call. Look at that. I'm sorry. That's actually, He's going to wreck that.
Jelizer giving himself one chance to roll over NaDa's army and doesn't.
You know what's funny? I wasn't sure if he was actually going to hold that. I was like, gosh, I don't know. I mean, the Siege Tank spread is pretty good. The Marine spread is pretty good. But NaDa is one of those guys that can look at an army that's well over 100 supply and be like, yeah, well, my army that's over 100 supply can easily take that. That's a tough call to make.
It is. And Jelizer, I love the decisiveness of his play, Tasteless. He's keeping so drone low. Most Zergs that we see in the world, you know, Hydra, Fruit Dealer, Nesty, they would be up
like
180
drones.
to 90 drones probably right now. Only Fruit Dealer would go up to 100, LOL. But Jelizer, he is staying at just over 50. That gives him a bigger max, that gets him some units quicker, but it's a very tempo-ish game. He isn't going to ever have a lot banked. It's going to be hard for him to ever remax.
Oh, beautiful. He gets a starport. Oh, and he is absolutely 100% going to get the starport. He's actually setting his medevacs over here. What are you doing?
Yeah,
he's like, you want the medevacs too?
Getting ahead of himself there a little bit. And in fact, he does take out that starport. Very annoying for NaDa.
Oh, he's going to go for the gold now. This
draws the Marines up and then counterattacks the gold base. Jelizer with amazing tactics. He has that +2 mutalisk attack. And wow, man. Just beautiful, beautiful play by Jelizer.
Whoa!
And he's decided it is time.
That's going to be it. He's going to lose the gold base. NaDa
Banelinging the planetary.
That's how you do it.
Out. NaDa does have 2-2 Marines, though. Jelizer has to be very careful with his mutas. And now,
here's a sign of a good player, is the Ninja Vanish move here, where he says, all right, I've done the damage I need to do. See ya.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, Jelizer has 4 bases, but again, his drone count's low, his money's low. Right now, he's only at 122 supply. He has killed the gold base, but this is a very dangerous time against NaDa because he spent a lot of mutas and a lot of banelings. That's a ton of resources. NaDa at 114 supply. He does have 3 bases. His economy is a little bit superior, but he lost a lot of it losing that gold base and the SCVs that were there.
NaDa's star sense is pretty good because he seems to be aware of the low drone count of July. He must have scanned some of the expansions and said, wait a minute, that's not enough drones. He's looking into counterattacking now. Oh.
Decides
to back up.
I think that is probably the right choice right here.
I think so, too.
Step back, take more of a macro game. The thing is, Jelizer doesn't even look like he wants to tech or upgrade right now, making 40 Zerglings. And this may be overdoing it for July. There are some siege tanks in there.
The siege tanks are going to take out almost all the banelings,
And the banelings, using banelings to take out siege tanks, not something you want to do.
This orbital that's going over there, that is not an orbital he built in the game. That's actually the one he started out with.
Yeah.
He's that low on income right now.
Jelizer morphing 29 Banes right now.
Now, because that's an orbital at the gold base, it's going to be much easier to kill with Baneling Mutaling.
Jelizer right now is on a clock. Okay, he keeps on putting all his money into very aggressive Banelings and Mutas. He's got to get more damage done. NaDa, will he stabilize?
Well, one thing to note is that NaDa doesn't have a lot of siege tanks.
Yeah, and it's not siege at his natural. I mean, it is gold base. The gold base could have been taken out.
Oh, you know what he's going to do? He's going to just try to right-click on the planetary with the Banelings, it looks like.
He may indeed.
I think it looks like that's what he's gearing up for.
Well, we're going to see. More Zerglings, more Banelings coming down, more Zerglings being made. The only thing Jelizer's doing is making Zerglings.
And now he's going down towards the primary expansion. Looks like he wants to try to get these Marines away from the siege tanks. I think this is a huge mistake by Jelizer, though.
NaDa with some pretty good spreads. There are still some Banelings left over.
I'm a bit shocked at that decision there with the Banelings.
Yeah.
I mean, he just didn't do enough damage.
Good Marauder there, absorbing some Banes. And here's the thing. Jelizer, he just keeps up with the style taste. He's making 30 more Banelings right now. NaDa, he's at 134 supply. He has 2-2. We have only +2 attack on both Mutas and the melee attack. So Jelizer, he's not making any drones. He's staying on those 53 drones he's had forever. He's just making Mutas, making Banelings, making Zerglings. And again, NaDa, he's keeping his gold. He's keeping strong. He's defending these attacks.
And now he's pushing.
He's got to be careful. If he's not siege when Jelizer engages, he will lose.
Before this battle, hold that thought, actually.
There we go. He's not siege. Sieging up now, but the Banelings do close in this time. And now NaDa's going to have to make a hasty retreat. Those Banelings, very scary, but he has enough left over. The 2-2 Marines with medevacs, more than enough to chase off the Mutas.
He needed those Mutas to target fire the tanks earlier. The tanks would actually killed up all those Banelings.
Yeah.
Now, I want to point out the gold base for NaDa is almost mined out because he's only dropping mules there. That's what you're supposed to do when you have a gold base, is only drop mules there. But that means pretty soon he's going to be down to just this expansion we got a shot at. And that's going to be pretty bad.
Jalizerg is mined out his main. His third base is just about mined out, but his natural is still with a good amount of minerals. His fourth with a good amount, expanding to his fifth right there. As you see, NaDa, he is taking another base right now. So he realizes, hey, my econ is about to go way down. I need to take care of that now.
Nice forced stim.
Oh, Jalizerg, finally, he's getting Overlord speed. Still making a lot of mutalisks. Has that, as I said, fifth base going up. But NaDa, his 3-3 upgrades for his Marines and Marauders, they're almost done. And, I mean, at that point, he's just, so deadly. The +2 Zerglings against 3-3 Marines, not going to do all that much. They're basically just going to be there to absorb damage.
He's actually stated a mid-tier tech for a very, very long time.
He should have been high. Well, any other Zerg would have been a Hive time.
Yeah, he would have been the Hive, but he would have gone Broodlords and switched to Ultralisks. But Jalizerg,
he has his own style.
Well, it's true, but one of the problems in a situation like this is he can't get the gold base until he actually gets to a Hive tech.
Yeah.
Now, this may prove to be advantageous to be tech slate because Terran's going to have a mined out gold base, which means if July does secure the gold and have a high tech tree, there's really nothing NaDa can do.
Yeah. Well, Artosis. This game is actually so awesome.
So good.
Jalizerg, though, is getting really far behind. He's got to get something happening here.
We have a stem. And that was smart of July to back up. No, there's Marauders coming into play now.
Yeah, he's using those for the Banes. Yep. Of course, they tank a huge amount of Baneling damage.
Right now, sorry, go ahead, Artosis. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You know, I do want to just point out the supplies real quick, if I could, Tasteless. Is that all right?
That's right.
All right.
You have the nerd conscience to talk.
177 for NaDa, 133 for July. Good harassment here. Jalizerg has to keep things like this up so that NaDa doesn't attack him. Jalizerg needs time to remax. His economy, not so good. Still only on 52 drones.
This is very frustrating if you're a Terran player because all the Zerg has to do is right-click out of the base.
He's out of there.
And as you can see, he already stimmed his entire army.
Yeah.
NaDa actually being duped into stimming a little bit more than I'm used to seeing. Normally, you only want to stem the Marines, the 5 Marines in the front. That's enough to scare away the Zerg and make it look like the whole army was stemmed. But he's actually stemming even Marauders in that army.
Jalizerg is not scare anything.
No.
And by the way, we just saw a Baneling go awesome.
It's beautiful. A Baneling group nap over there. We're gonna get a shot of that for you guys in a minute. Very nice. Going for the factories. That's what you want to do. And
getting that factory out. Getting out with those mutas.
Beautiful.
By the way, this is quite a sick muta ball. He's up to 34 mutas right now with +2 attack. And counterattacking into the gold base. Smart move. Even if there's not a lot of gold minerals left there, it still has a lot of gas.
What do you think about the Vikings here? I'm a bit startled by that decision. I mean, does he have a hive yet?
No, he does not.
No, okay, so I don't know.
Well, the Vikings are definitely to try to slow down the mutalisks harassment. You know, they have such great range.
Yeah, I guess
add
that's
some
true.
damage to it, but I don't like them.
I don't like it, yeah.
I agree with you, Tasis. I do not like that choice. But he's NaDa, and NaDa always knows best. Almost always. A lot of turrets going up for NaDa. Realistically, he should be getting plus building armor against these mutas. Very helpful.
Oh, good call.
And look at this. Makes everything run around.
And there's another forced stim. Every single thing in the army is stim. The Marauders.
Now, notice July. He's in a very strict pattern here, just flying from base to base, killing as much as he can. That's why these Vikings are out, but I don't know if they're going to be enough Tasteless. The mutas aren't going to care very much, and bam, down they go. Don't look at him for a second. Those unupgraded Vikings, no match for the mutas.
One
that
Thor,
though,
out.
Oh my god.
eBay. Is it going to go down?
That Thor just dealt about 2,000 damage to that stack.
That was actually insane.
That splash damage is so good. Good choice.
He really should have been going Thors earlier.
And
I don't know. I just don't agree with that Viking move. Considering how much you stim this game, you should get medevacs. Ideally, what you want to do is probably get medevacs and mass drop at some point in time when you've taken the map and you know the mutas are out of position.
By the way, right now, Jalizerg 198.5 supply, NaDa 188. Very, very even there. Unit counts, 35 mutas. What is he going to do with this Baneling Swarm, Tasteless?
I think he's just going to go for this expansion. Well, you know, he
50 Banelings right now.
Oh, I question this decision.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
But it might actually work.
Well, he's got to kill off these Marines, Tasteless.
Oh,
so many Banelings dying there. The Siege Shanks spread out very, very well. The Thors taking so many hits.
Oh my God, he's going to lose all the mutas.
He is, and I think that's going to be GG.
What a bizarre